it's Lady Mal. Again, I apologize for the lighting because my daddy's fighting migraine, so we have to keep the lights down low. But anyway, the review I'm doing for today is for a movie that I just watched on Netflix called Analeise, the Exorcist tapes, and I happened to run across it on Netflix because I was looking for something to watch, and I thought, okay, well, it's a documentary style movie, so let's watch it. And it says at the beginning that it's based on real life of, well, not that it's based, that this is the actual footage and actual audio recordings and whatnot. Um, and scarily enough, it really is. I don't know that the audio recordings and whatnot are actually real. I haven't really done that much research into it, but um, it's kind of creepy. I mean, you start the movie and like a minute to 2 minutes in, creepy shit starts happening, and not like blood down the walls or anything like that. Like Annalise appears out of nowhere and starts walking across the room, urinating on herself, then turns around, hits the ground, and starts lapping it up. I mean, I'm all into kink and stuff, but that's a bit much for me. But I mean, and it's just it's set in Germany, Bavaria to be exact, and because that's where the Annalise was actually from, and the dates are the same. Um, um, it was released in March of 2011 and went directly to video, which I can understand why, but it's um, it's actually the basis for several movies made. This Annalise Michael, her exorcism is the basis for several other Exorcist movies like this one, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I'm going to cover in a later vlog, and a movie called Requiem, which I currently have on my Netflix queue, and I have not watched it yet, but I'm going to. But um, all three of those films are loosely based on her actual exorcism. This one, Annalise the Exorcist tapes, is the one that's closest to the truth. Um, in the movie, several of the Americans die. That actually did not happen, but um, the priest is the same. And apparently, in the UK, the DVD was released as Paranormal Entity 3, The Exorcist tapes. Which, if you know anything about the film production company called Asylum, which have put out great works like Paranormal Entity, um, Battle. You know, there was the movie, was it Battle Los Angeles? They put out Battle for Los Angeles. They're real good about taking movies that are popular at the time, switching up the name just a little bit, like Paranormal Activity to Paranormal Entity, and they change the names in the movies, but the plots are essentially the same, only it's done on a much smaller scale, and it's usually pretty terrible. If you ever want a movie to MST3K with your friends, which if you don't know what that is, let me know. Um, if you don't have, if you want to do one of those type movies and you don't have anything, look for anything made by the Asylum, because it is the easiest crap in the world to make fun of because it is so terrible. But anyway, what I thought was interesting was the story of Annalise Michael. She actually died um, on July the 1st of 76 from starvation. Her parents and the priests involved claim up and down, swear up and down, that um, uh, she is she was possessed. And and I just realized the Asylum actually did Annalise the Exorcist tapes, so that explains a lot. But anyway, for once, this movie wasn't too terribly bad for an Asylum flick. Um, anyway, she was raised very strict Catholic. Started having epileptic seizures, which, like like some people do, especially extremely devout Catholics, if you have a seizure, uh, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna equate it to a demonic possession. I mean, at least in that time period. Nowadays, I would like to think that even the most devout Catholics would understand the fact that it's a seizure, not necessarily demonic possession. But back then, it was, oh God, you're having a fit, you're possessed. and they did everything they could. She went on a pilgrimage to try to get exercised. It didn't help. Yeah. She ends up dying of starvation, which is essentially where the movie ends. Her parents and the two priests involved are charged with, oh crap, what's it called? Negligent homicide, because they let her starve to death. And apparently, before the trial, the parents asked to exhume the remains because a Carmelite nun in southern Bavaria said she had a vision that her daughter's body was still intact, which would prove the fact that her body was being used by demons. But when they exhumed the body had shown signs of consistent deterioration, which is what it should have been. So I don't know if her parents to this day, or until they died, 'cause I'm not sure when they died, believe that wholeheartedly that she was possessed. And from some of the video footage, because there's actual video footage on the DVD that was released in the UK, I believe. I think. I don't know. I read it somewhere. Somewhere there's actual footage that I would really like to see, because it's usually pretty easy to debunk possession as epilepsy or whatever. Like the last exorcism, the whole exorcism itself was bunk, but the girl was actually possessed. So, yeah, all in all, it wasn't a bad flick. Finding out that it's an asylum flick explains a lot. But all in all, it's not too terribly bad. It's kind of boring at times, like I was working on a craft project, but I'm always doing three things at once anyway. So if you want something to make fun of, look up anything by the Asylum. In fact, I'm going to do a vlog in a little while on all of the Asylum flicks that I can find. And you really.
Abraham Lincoln versus zombies.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln versus zombies rather than Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. That one's pretty freaking terrible. And I haven't seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but I really want to. I tried to watch Abraham Lincoln versus zombies, and like 10 minutes in, I had to turn it off. Which is pretty par for the course for the Asylum. So, anyway, I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great day. Mwah. Love y'all. Bye.